I recall stumbling upon the mute house one late night while craving something eerie. My curiosity soared after reading cryptic comments about a place where silence seems alive. I dimmed the lights, threw on headphones, and gave it a whirl. You control a character locked in a bleak mansion filled with sealed doors, hidden corridors, and odd clues. There's a hush in every room, forcing you to explore with care. That uneasy quiet lingers, keeping you tense even when nothing dramatic happens. I've played tons of horror, but this one managed to crawl under my skin with its unpredictable dread. The mansion itself is a cramped maze of narrow passageways and flickering lights. At one point, I spotted a door at the end of a corridor that seemed to beckon me, but my key refused to fit. That teasing pattern repeats. The house hints at progression, then holds you back until you uncover the right items. Darkness swallows distant corners, and you'll strain your ears for any sound. Reviews online describe it as a classic haunted house vibe relying on tension rather than frequent jump scares. That style resonates with me more than sudden loud noises, so I felt at home. I spent my initial hour slowly creeping around, convinced something would lunge out at any moment. Sound design is a standout feature. You'll often find yourself wrapped in near total quiet, interrupted only by a distant drip or your own footsteps. Then an unexplained thud or faint voice startles you, and you're not sure if it came from the game or your actual surroundings. It's clever how they achieve so much atmosphere with minimal tools. Subtle sound effects can spark more dread than an overbearing soundtrack. I had a few moments where I paused, certain someone was in the room with me, only to realize I was alone. That level of immersion is rare. I found the puzzles hit or miss. Some use logic and note-taking, which I enjoy. One sequence with mirror symbols had me backtracking several times, scribbling in a notebook to decode patterns. When I finally solved it, the payoff felt great. Then there were riddles so vague I resorted to random guesses. That killed the mood briefly. Some players say the developer might tweak certain puzzles, but no official statement has confirmed this. If you relish figuring out cryptic clues, you'll likely find these sections engaging. Graphics stick to dark, grainy textures that won't blow anyone's mind in terms of realism. Still, the dim lighting and eerie silhouettes do enough to set your nerves on edge. Performance held steady most of the time, aside from small frame drops when moving between sections. The game is locked at 60 FPS, which might bother those who want more, but it suits the slower pace of horror. Story elements are revealed through tattered notes, dusty tomes, and faded photographs scattered about. There's a thread of past occupants, rumored curses, and mysterious vanishings. The game never dumps a big chunk of backstory in your lap, so it's up to you to assemble clues as you go. I'm a fan of unraveling little bits over time. Some might dislike the vague structure, but it added a layer of curiosity for me. A few folks claim there are several endings depending on which items you collect or how you proceed. I've only seen one ending so far, which leaves me guessing about what else might be hidden in those shadowy hallways. Scares aren't relentless. It's more of a slow burn that wears you down until a single odd sound makes you jump. Some complain it's too subtle, but I think that's part of its charm. It recalls old-school survival horror, where resources are limited and danger feels unspoken. You're never sure if something is stalking you or if it's all in your head. That uncertainty can be more gripping than a monster popping up every few minutes. I definitely double-checked my own apartment locks after a long session. I did run into some performance hiccups. At one point, audio bugged out with a constant buzz that only went away after restarting. Certain sections with heavy fog or multiple lights can strain lower-end PCs. The team seems aware of these problems, though there's no confirmed update to address them. Closing unnecessary background apps might help if you're worried about stutters. It's not game-breaking, but it's noticeable if your rig isn't powerful. While there have been discussions among players about potential VR support, there is no official confirmation from the developers. If VR ever becomes a feature, it could make for an even more immersive horror experience. My overall impression remains positive. Even with a few glitches and some cryptic riddles, the game excels at atmosphere. The darkness, the near-constant silence, and the sense of foreboding all contribute to a unique horror experience. You might emerge a bit rattled, scanning your own home for motions that shouldn't be there. I've been hooked on horror for years, and it's rare for something to deliver that lingering chill. This one succeeds in that regard, at least for me. If you enjoy creeping through tense hallways and piecing things together on your own, it's likely to resonate. I'm settling on a solid 8 out of 10. The Mute House knows how to keep you on edge without relying on cheap stunts. Better puzzle clarity and smoother performance could easily boost that score. I'd still suggest it to horror enthusiasts who value atmosphere over jump scares. Give it a shot, see if you can crack its secrets, and let me know if you discover any alternate endings. Thanks for dropping by GameVault HQ and sticking around for this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found it helpful, and feel free to share your impressions in the comments. See you in the next video.